Come, friend, now lend me an ear, for a tale of Victor the Weird. He went on an adventure with him and himself, and also his mighty fine beard. Now gather round, I'll tell you about this mighty beast. He may look as human, as mere as you, friend, but soon your eyes will feast upon this marvelous creature with many body parts. His one shirt may fool you, but what if I told you his chest had 4 red hearts? One mouth but 1,000 voices, one mind and limited choices, 2 handsome dice, 2 handsome dice. The audience rejoices. He's going to play D&D with him, himself, and he. Those are his pronouns, it's really profound. It's time for D&Me, featuring Victor and 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 Victor. One knows who knows how many repeats. So come and sit down in an empty seat. It's time for D&Me. 2 eyes, 4 cheeks, 2 souls on his feet, 2 hands for making and foes to defeat, 1 tongue, 2 lips through which to speak, but just one but.
Hey everybody, I'm Victor Rivera, and welcome to D&Me, where I play with myself. I play D&D with myself. That's so exciting. This is the first time I've really, a Twitch user, Goats versus Fish, me figure out how to make it so that I can actually hear the video clips that I have. So that's really the first time I've heard my theme song right before the show in quite a long time. So thank you very much. An amazing theme song. So thank you to Bradley, who produced and performed that. You can find them on Instagram at Bradley Owens, Bread L-E-Y. And now hold on a second. Where are my boys? Let's see. Here they are. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? I invested in an artist, and thank you, Farwin, for making these fantastic headshot sketches of my boys. So, the artist who did this character art by Farwin, you can reach out to them at farwinart.card with 2 R's.co. So, FARWINART.CARRD.CO. So, aren't they great? And so, this was a D&Me, like the drink exclusive. So this past Monday, literally a minute before I went on I streamed, then I got this email with these headshots. So in D&Me, like the drink, I showed them, and like this was the first time really seeing them. And now what I want to do for D&Me is, if you ever make fan art of my boys or any of my characters or anything in the D&Me universe, I will gladly put them on my banner. Like, I'll make things and then I will credit you. So thank you again, Farwin. Character art by Farwin, FARWINART period CARRD period CO. So that's exciting. And speaking of cool people making cool art for D&Me, I have a friend who I found out loves building houses in Sims. So I sent over the blueprints of Troll Skull Manor and Tavern, and look what they're doing so far. Look at that. I've shown you all the blueprints before, and they're making it to scale, and then they're going to actually help me like interior decorate it with furniture and stuff, because I don't know the first thing about that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And they are very good at Sims, and they've been doing it for years and years and years and years. So this is next level. So that's it. That's working. That's progress waiting in the wings. So that's amazing. And then let's see. Speaking of Troll Skull Manor, you know what? Let's throw up those blueprints. So this is the blueprints of what all the floors look like, and we've gone through them a couple times, but I want to share with you something special. So in one of the last couple episodes, I think in this last episode, Rock and then Paige are using a new abjuration cantrip that I made up called Sealant to seal in chalk art that our mansion's ghost named Leaf made all over the place. And so I was like, you know what? Because I found some resin. My computer is crying already. I had some resin, like buckets of resin, and then we made the first floor like we sealed in that chalk art. But I was curious to see how long it takes to seal everything else. So Leaf did chalk art on all of the floors and all of the walls and all of the ceiling. And then Toot Toot asked him if he wants to like redo the chalk art for different holidays, and the dice said yes. So we are only sealing the floor with the permanent chalk art. So I wanted to see how long that would take. So if I am generous and giving us the first floor here of the Troll Skull Manor, let's actually get my D&Me arrow up. So if I'm generous and I give us all of this with the buckets of resin, then let's see how much more it takes. If it's 1 square foot per minute of permanent sealant artwork cantrip thingy. So I did some math. And if we covered this, but the stairs and then the second floor, only the common areas Leaf did art for. So I'm counting all of that, and then this middle ground, because these are that's Onyx's bedroom, that's Rock's library and study, that's Toot Toot's master bedroom, this is Tipsy and his little thing, and then the third floor, all of that, and then the basement. So I counted up how many squares. It's slightly different. How many squares we have for all of the floors. And let's see, 1 square right here, 1 square for a D&D map like this is 1 square equals 5 feet. So that's like 5 square feet. So I counted up how many squares there were. So there's 106.5 squares and then 8 stairs. And I was like, I actually don't know what stairs are. So for a 5 foot by 5 foot stair, being 5 feet tall, I didn't know. I went outside and measured the stairs right outside my apartment, and the rise is 8 inches. So I'm sure there's an architect out there who knows the exact answers, but I was like, okay, if it's 8 inches tall, then I think it's 8 inches like deep. So I didn't know how many actual stairs there are, so I did the math, and then it's 7.5 stairs if it is indeed 8 inches tall and then 8 inches deep. So then after doing that math, I was like, I actually don't know what any of that means. But then I thought about it some more, and a 5 by 5 square is, if we're looking at the top of the stairs, like from the top view, then that will be 5 square feet. And then if we look at the front view, then it's also 5 square feet. I think. So each square of stair is pretty much double the surface area. I believe, if that's correct. I'm not sure. I'm not a math. This felt very much like an elementary school problem of like, count all the squares and see what the square footage is. So then, I had the 1.6. Oh no, I didn't do the 5. No, it's fine. The 106 total square footage, and then I timed the 8 stairs by 2 to just make it easiest on me, and then that's 122 total squares, but each one represents 5 square feet, so that is 25 pretty much. So that's 3,050, and that's each square foot. And so if you make that into a minute, divide that by 60, and that's 50 hours. And then 0.83, which turns into 50 minutes. 50 hours and 50 minutes of using the abjuration cantrip. Sealant. So, that's a long time for Rock and Paige to be doing magic together. So, they did not spend 50 hours and 50 minutes using sealant in the last episode, but now I know. What am I going to do with that? I don't know. But I wanted to have that as D& research after the fact. So I did. Speaking of having Farwin as D&Me like the drink exclusives, then the last D&Me also, I sorted all of my boys into their Hogwarts house. So I took the Pottermore sorting quiz, the full one with the 29 questions in character for each of these. And so my definitive official results are: Tipsy is a Gryffindor. Waddles, there he is. He's in the Farwin art. Is Hufflepuff. Onyx is Slytherin. Rock is Ravenclaw. And then Toot Toot is Hufflepuff. That is the official sorting of all my boys into their Hogwarts houses. Yeah, it's great. And then for the third D&Me like the drink exclusive, last Monday at 8 o'clock p.m., then I released episode 7 of the podcast. So if you go on to Linktree and then Anchor.fm and then Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all the places you get a podcast, then episode 7, Crappy Encounters, is now available. So check that out. If I was very good, I would have a podcast release every week. But now I'm just aiming for every month. So I want to get up to episode 10 in the podcast, because it takes me roughly 7 hours to edit each episode. So it's slow progress, but I'm still doing the D&Me Twitch live stream every week. So that's exciting and good for me. So now, as a D&Me episode 24 exclusive, we have an unboxing literally at 6:46 Eastern Standard Time. Then we got this package, and I think I know what's inside of it. I hope I know what's inside of it, but I want to open it now because it was 14 minutes before the stream for y'all. So let's roll to see who opens it, because I had a D&Me Extra video where I unboxed a whole bunch of boxes from the premiere of D&Me. And it's one of the earliest videos, and I have it up on YouTube, so go and check that out. But Tipsy is 1, Onyx is 2, Rock is 3, Toot Toot is 4. 1, Tipsy! All right. First of all, if you didn't see it, D&Me like the drinks, January 24th, 2022, I was the superstar because we got super tipsy. So that was me. Yeah. It's my party and I want if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Yeah! Alright. That's a lot of... Can you see that through the green screen? Because it's kind of green. Oh, golly. Let's see. Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? Well, hold on. I can't actually tell if it's just opaque. Is it just the Troll Skull Manor right now? I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think it's just plastic and reflecting my glass. Yeah, it's fine. Anyways. Bum. This looks like the thing. This is Icewinddale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. It's a thick boy. Yeah. I got a coupon, Victor got a coupon, so Victor bought it. So, feel the cold touch of death in this adventure for the world's greatest role-playing game. Some secrets are worth dying for. Ooh. Yeah. We have... Victor, I have to clean that up. We have so many of the D&D books. So, this is one of the last ones. Victor only needs like 9 of the other ones. So, Victor's Amazon wish list for D&Me is at the bottom of the link tree. linktr.ee/DnMeAdventures. Here we go. That's it. I relinquish my time back to Victor. Tipsy, just put a sticker on my head. Anyways, yay! Thank you, Daddy, for the coupon. Daddy for When Can We Play gave me a Books A Million coupon. So thank you, Daddy. And then my father's like, that's still not weird. Oh boy. So yeah, I uploaded the D&Me Extras unboxing video 5 months ago, and 2 days from now is the 6-month anniversary, even though 6-month celebration of D&Me. So thank y'all for coming and watching thus far. I think that's it. Oh, no. Okay, there's a little bit more. So I have 2 D&M revisions. One, Rock. I was listening to the, boy, yeah, my computer. Well, so Rock, I was listening to the D&Me Like the Drink, and then Rock, sometimes when I've adjusted, so the first, I think, episode or 2, Rock was very much orcish, so I had the jaw, but then me doing this extension for any amount of time is a lot. So I was like, you know what, I want to give him, like, no bass. I want, like, a heady voice, but sometimes with no bass as the qualifier, then like having an absence of something or like a negative as a qualifier, like as a character trait, then the only thing to compare it to is when I do dip into bass. And then when I do dip into bass, then he automatically, because he's prim and proper, and then sometimes it just bounces into toot toot, which he's very standard American and very standard American, performative. So I was like, okay, I want something else for Rock. Okay, 24 episodes in, I want him to be more British. So I will strive for the S's and the T's to be pronounced, because that already makes my voice more heady and focused and forehead. So I will really, it's also like the focus is out here, so it's breathy, and more British is ultimately what I want to strive for. Then he can slide back into toot toot, and then forward for Rock, and then just feeling like this. So that's something I really want to strive to adjust, because I think it will sound different for the podcast and then me rewatching it, because sometimes I do like bounce back into toot toot. So that's one of the Dean revisions. And then to practice, I will have Rock explain the other Dean revision. So the other Dean revision is that when I was learning the spells in Bookworm's Treasure, then Victor misread the how long it takes and the resources in order for me to gain that new spell. So unfortunately, it is still 50 gold pieces. It's still pretty good, like the enunciation and the different consonances. So, but Victor read incorrectly the hours that it takes. So he says it's 1 hour for spell slot. Unfortunately, he reread the book, and it is 2 hours per spell slot learned. So the sealant cantrip, the abjuration cantrip, would just be 1 hour, because he considers it half a spell slot. But shield I learned, which is a first level, so that's 2 hours. And then witch bolt is also a first level spell, so that's another 2 hours. And then suggestion is second level spell, so that's 4 hours, so 8 hours instead of the 3. So Victor's not going to adjust that at all, but he just wants you to know that he recognizes an oopsie when it happens. So this was Rock, the half-orc purple wizard. So thank you, bye! So there we go. And then let's get into episode 24 of D&Me. With the D&M recap. So last episode, we started reverse with Onyx going down to Steam and Steel after visiting with the Buzzard Bros and his encounter with the Fae Amber Rain in the middle of the field ward. And he went down and then ordered from Bruce, the Shark Triton, he commissioned his bones to be made into armor, and then something secret and mysterious with the other rectangles. Then, yes. So then Rock went, and then after his encounter with his fae, Blake Blossom, in Bookworm's Treasure, which is a bookstore, then he went back to Trollskull Manor to page the wordsmith, And in the chat right now, we have Paige, the namesake of Paige the Wordsmith, because Paige like a page in a book. So, there we go. We have Paige, the Wordsmith, who is a bronze Dragonborn who has a lot of patina and teal rust all over her. So they went back to Bookworm's Treasure and they bought sealant together. Well, Rock bought sealant, and then they learned it together. And then sealant is the abjuration cantrip that I made up, which is pretty much like waterproofing and making stuff permanent. So they learned that, and then Toot Toot, coming back up from the yawning portal after having experienced his fate, Piper Perry throw a Dragonborn, a drunk Dragonborn, into the yawning portal well itself. Then he went up to the Trollskull Manor, and then they all kind of reconvened back at home, and Tipsy came down from his reading because he is studying the Manual of Quickness of Action, where for 6 days he needs to read 48 hours in order for him to gain like more dexterity benefits. And there was a bunch of knocking because at first Woodrow the Woodwode came in with a wooden warforged kind of wooden robot named Wood, W00D, and they delivered some furniture that they earned from completing a quest from Spanish Moss Stash, and they performed a short play because this is Fae Day, where you come into someone's house and then either perform a little skit or perform a song. So that was good. And then they left, and then Three Strings, the bard from the Yawning Portal. If this is your first episode, I'm sorry. I am working on that. I have something in the works, but Three Strings, the bard from the Yawning Portal, and then Algo, a blue tiefling, came in to talk about Bonnie, who has a secret that they need help with. But then before that happened, another knock came in, and then Faye Reagan, the head of the fairies, came in and had a very creepy scene where we zoomed outside for a bit and then saw a crowd of people under the Fae's control that they are going to take back to the Feywild and then do who knows what. And then they had kind of a standoff, and then Faye Reagan gave my boys a favor. Yeah. A small favor from the Fae that who knows if or when they will cash that in. And then they left, and then Bonnie came in, the strawberry blonde waitress from the Yawning Portal, and then revealed that she is a doppelganger. So she blinked, and then her eyes turned purple, and then she morphed into a couple people, and then she showed her true form, which is a 6-foot-tall purple alien kind of dealy. And that is where we are zooming. So I want to check the chat real quick. Howdy. Okay, no, I don't need to do this right now. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching. So then we have a tap room full of people staring at this newly formed 6-foot-tall, bald, oblong head, purple figure who looks like they have goosebumps all over their arms and the whole body. Dark purple, but then these brilliant light purple eyes. And they blink and then look around, and then everyone is pretty much guffawed. And then Ago, the blue French tiefling, pipes in going, "So, this is Bonnie's true form. She is a doppelganger. And we had a conversation with Toot Toot at the Yawning Portal a couple nights ago. And he said that you all would help us with her dilemma, as it were." And then Bonnie, Toot Toot is kind of standing at the bar, and he's the only one who's kind of like looking around at everyone else, but then everyone else is just like slack-jawed, wide-eyed, pointing. Just the attention is completely focused at this morphed Bonnie. And then Tipsy goes, "What? There's so much that I've missed so far. Reading is never the answer if I'm missing this." And he gestures up at Bonnie, and then Bonnie tilts their alien-like head down at him, and he's like, "Golly, and then he diverts his eye contact. And then Bonnie goes, "Yes, so I am a doppelganger. Do any of you, besides Toot, obviously, and then Ago, and 3, he is asleep in that chair? Good. That probably is for the best, because he would want to tell this story. I am a doppelganger. Do you know what that means?" And then Tipsy goes, And then Onyx goes, "No." And then Rock, who is now definitively British, goes, "I do not, but I am very excited to learn. If you could educate us." And then a small voice comes from behind Rock, and then Paige the Wordsmith steps forward. "Actually, I do know what a doppelganger is. We have multiple books in the Bookworm's Treasure talking about monsters. Their term and usage, not mine. I apologize. But one in particular has quite a number of pages describing your shape-shifting form, how, again, me and Rock have discussed a little bit how books are misleading and written from biases, because they describe you and then orcs as more mindless monsters, but I've seen otherwise. So they talk how you are deceitful, and you have a thirst for power, and that you are... I have read about your conditions, and what might be unfair descriptors of your beings." And then Bonnie looks down at her, at Paige, and, "Thank you for that. That means a lot." "Yes. Unfortunately..." And then Bonnie takes a second to kind of scan the room, and then 3 strings James Buffet passed out in one of the chairs in the corner. And then she will do something. Hey! Okay. Skidee-dee-dee-doo. How do I want to do this? Wizard. Cool. And then wizard. Which one did I just... Can't... Okay. Cool. So I have critical role dice right here. And I switch out my dice because sometimes they get tired. And so before every episode, I roll to see which ones want to play that night. Yep. What is it? Pack bond? I pack bond with so many things, y'all. So me and my dice are great. So I have some critical role dice. I have Vax as the rogue for Tipsy. I have Grog the barbarian for Onyx. I have Scanlan the bard for Toot Toot, and then I have the closest thing to a wizard in campaign 1 for Vox Machina. I have Keyleth the druid as Rock the half-orc wizard. So I'm going to roll for them. Interesting. I like it. And then I will roll for... This one will be Leaf, the ghost who is around, and I kind of... this will be Paige. Okay. And then Ago, which worked out perfectly because my blue D20 is right here. Okay. Is that everyone? I have so many people now in this. Okay. So 3 strings over there. Ago. Two my boys. Yeah, I think so. Oh, and then Waddles, I guess. Okay. So, of those, yes, I get it, laptop. You are very tired. Cool. So, Bonnie looks around, and then, she goes, yes. So she kind of squints her, just, there's no pupils in her eyes. It's just the whole eye is that light purple. And then she squints, and then she points over to Toot Toot. Yes, this is still strange to see the second time. And I hope they say yes to helping us as well. And then she points over at Rock. I am flattered by the comparison of the purple. No, I do not take offense to that. You're very sweet. And then she points over at Onyx. Not a lot, huh? But I am picking up the word amazing, so I hopefully will take that in a good way. And then she points over at Tipsy, who's just like there, and his eyes are like just twitching. She's like, I'm not picking anything up from you, but I don't speak rat, but I'm getting like a good sense off of you. So, and then she like waves like this weird alien like wave. I'm imagining like just an alien that like you elongate, and so it's really thin and just like waving, and then waddles on Tipsy's shoulder and kind of like scurries back. And then finally Leaf, hello. And she's looking at the ghost. I am glad that your tavern is full of life as well. That is very nice. And then Rock goes, this is absolutely extraordinary. What is happening? Yeah, Rock is British. That's good, huh? Cool. So, hold on. That's actually really unpleasant. I should do that away from the microphone. But she goes, so besides shape-shifting, then doppelgangers have this Paige, you know this. We have an ability where we can read the surface thoughts of the people around us. So I just want to let you know. Wow, you are all very loud right now, and I am closing that off. I just wanted to let you know that I can do it, but I am volunteering not to from... You're still very loud. Okay. I can no longer hear him right now, but I just want you to know, as we continue forward, that is an ability of my people. And then Toot Toot kind of steps forward, and he holds up a hourglass golden coin with an opal in it that matches the color of Bonnie's purple eye. And then he holds it up. So this is a token from... and then he chuckles to himself. Anywhere. Is that right? And then Bonnie goes, yes, I am. Hold on, I'm looking. Yes, I am from anywhere. That is the land that me and some of my people come from. We come from an almost kingdom of doppelgangers and shapeshifters and other what some people would deem monsters. But and then Bonnie puts her hand over her heart. We know better. And she continues, I tell you this because I explicitly trust the Harpers. And then she gestures over to Ago and then kind of like is going to gesture at Three Strings, but then brings the hand back. They have shown me nothing but kindness and understanding. Unfortunately, their resources are not as expansive as we need for help right now. Oh bother. I will just tell you, I am a princess from anywhere, and I come from the royal family of doppelgangers, and unfortunately we are at war right now with nowhere, and they are a lying, manipulative kingdom that we are at odds against right now, and the war has come to a head. And then my father decreed that me and a couple other of the royal family leave, and then we found our way to Waterdeep, where we have been in hiding for successfully, thankfully, for a couple months now. And unfortunately, I've been... And then she morphs back down into the more petite frame, plainly human, small human woman named Bonnie with straight strawberry blonde hair, who is the waitress at the yawning portal. And then she goes, I have been working at the yawning portal as a waitress because I really enjoy the ongoing daily activities of the common folk. And back in anywhere, I was directly in action with the people, and it has been a comfort being with them, among them, and it has been extremely informative, because then the longer I worked there, then I overheard more and more things. And then unfortunately recently we're asking for your help because the people of nowhere know that we're here, and I don't know how. I'm only picking up bits and pieces here, and then she gestures over to Tipsy, who's just like full on just you can see his brain melting out of his ears. When people drink, then they get louder, and then their thoughts get louder. So there is an advantage of waitressing at one of the most popular taverns and inns in all of Waterdeep, because then you can hear all sorts of things. So the higher ups in nowhere know that we're here, and I need your help, please. And then Toot Toot steps forward and beside Bonnie, and then he goes, "Gentlemen, I think this is a noble enterprise, and as I said before, we do good, and I think there's nothing but good here to be found. We will protect Bonnie and her kin. And Bonnie, what specifically, just so that we can inform the boys? And then she goes, well, I need to relay a message to the others. There are 3 others from anywhere that nowhere does know that we're here. I keep saying that, but it's a little shocking, and it's not the best case scenario. So if you could find them and then relay the message that nowhere is sending spies, assassins, I'm not quite sure, but there's a group of people that they hired who are coming to find us, and so I need you to talk to the 3. One is very easy to find. Unfortunately, the other 2 are well equipped for hiding in plain sight, so that will be difficult. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And unfortunately, I do have, and then she looks over at Paige again, I do have a request, and I have no right to ask of this except for preservation. But the book that you mentioned that has the information, the lengthy information about doppelgangers, I would feel so much better if that was not out in the public. Could you? And then Paige raises up her dragon claw and goes, say no more. I completely understand. I will take it off the shelves immediately. Is it okay if I know the information to perhaps help you also? And then Bonnie, with her girlish grin, greets her. That would be lovely. I would love to have a mind as keen as yours to help out. And then Paige looks up at Rock going, would you like to do intelligence rolls with me? And then Rock looks down. I would be absolutely honored. Yeah, British Rock. That's a thing, huh? Rock and roll. So let's see. I have a bunch of notes. I came up with this idea today on my Wednesday D&Me day, and it's a story breakthrough. So, yeah. Then she looks towards Tipsy, who's just kind of staring up at the ceiling now. And then his arm kind of drifts up to the bar where there's a couple bottles out, and then one which was the fullest at the end of the last episode, but we rolled the lowest, like it was like a 1 on a d20 of how good it was, and then he's just reaching for that and just kind of grabbing blankly at it. And then she looks over at Onyx, and then Onyx, yeah, I'll help you. Mm-hmm. And then she goes, great. I really appreciate it, and I know for sure the Harpers would like this extra help, and they are, in my opinion, the faction to join, so this will... And then Argo actually takes half a step forward and go, if you help us with this endeavor, then that is instant initiation in my book, and I will vouch for you immediately. So, and then she kind of takes the half step back, and Bonnie looks and gives a short nod, and Argo returns it. So it sounds like you all will help me, and I'm very appreciative. Help my doppelgang. And then Tutu goes, oh, that is very good. Oh, doppelgang. We still need a name for ourselves. We will come up with it later. But, Bonnie, so get information of doppelgangers off the streets. find your 3 companions and relay the information that we are trustworthy among, like we have Bonnie's blessing. Bonnie's blessing? No, Toot, pay attention. And then there might be people coming here to find doppelgangers. Is that correct? And she goes, yes. Normally we have to be aware because nowhere is everywhere except anywhere. But doppelgangers outside of anywhere, everywhere else, then they are hunted. And then she kind of looks in Onyx's direction as trophies. So we always have to be aware. And then Onyx. Ooh, interesting. I'm going to roll to see what Bonnie picks up insight-wise of Onyx. Oh boy, that's a 2. That's not good. And so then Onyx is just very still. And he's looking at Bonnie. But his face is unchanged, so interesting. So we just need to be aware. But I did pick up from a mind or two that the people who have been sent here are part of the Mahouts. And Bonnie is still talking and gesturing around, but Toot, despite his giant ears and his keen hearing, there's just now a buzzing in his head, very much like a laptop fan struggling for life. But there's a buzzing in his ears, and then just an icicle shoots its way into Toot's stomach, and he is both hot and cold at the same time. And then what happens to me a lot is when something really bad happens, then his back teeth just flood with heat, and then his whole face is flushed, and the buzzing grows louder, and his eyes dry out, and his fingertips are numb, and it's running up his hands. I'm sorry. What did you say? You have to be careful because the Mahouts are coming, and it's kind of like that tinnitus after like a bomb goes off, and it's just and then Toot. That's not possible. And then Rock chimes up. What is not possible, Toot? The Mahouts, they cannot be here. They are the worst beings from my continent. My people spend generations fighting them, but they can't be here. It absolutely makes no sense. And then Rock steps forward. Unfortunately, my friend, and then places a soft hand on the upper bit of Toot's arm. It was impossible for us to be here, and all 4 of us at the beginning of this adventure have been summoned. So, what more of the Mahouts can you tell us? My tribe, we were in the Sandlust Desert. That is where I was born and raised. I was brought up in a warring tribe called KHD. And my clan, they would go out into the desert every single day. And then sometimes
hunting parties would come back and sometimes they wouldn't, and it was just constant, day in, day out, week in, month out, year in, decade out, this fight against the Mahouts, and I lost so many family members, and that is all they ever cared about, was fighting these goddamn creatures. And after so many years of death, I had to leave because I didn't want to keep living just to kill. So I ran away, and I had to leave. Then he looks up at Rock, who's right there listening and nodding. I had to leave. There was one night right before I left where I was gathering up the courage to leave, to pack up all my things, to leave the note to my parents. And these screams pierced my tent, and then I had to go outside and look, and then around the bonfire, crawling from the darkness of the desert, was this too young soldier, and he was crawling into dinner, and he had to talk to my mother, who was the chieftain, and he was describing that their hunting party went out into the desert, and then they were ambushed by the Mahouts, and everyone else fell, and he got hurt, and he doubled over, and leering over him, what little stars there were them, the vicious creatures, and they are not a one type of creature. They are all horrible monsters, but this one he was describing was a Goliath and a drow, and with that he just a sharp, almost mean nod. Oh wait, no, I'll go as a tiefling, not a drow, never mind. So a Goliath, a drow, and an orc, and they were all staring over him, laughing, gritting their disgusting teeth, and he said something that no KHD member has ever seen before. This just green fire rolling out of their eyes. And then he passed out, and then when he came to, then the Mahouts were gone, and the bodies of the other fallen Loxodon were gone. And he crawled his way back to where we were, where our nomadic tribe spent that night, and he told all of this to my mother, and she said, yes, they have magic, but that's the first time we've ever heard of that, and that soldier did not survive the night. And then Toot Toot scans the whole crowd. You do not understand. This was my family's whole reason for living, was to defeat the Mahout. And that is the reason I had to leave. And then as soon as I left, then I discovered there is goodness in the world that doesn't wholly revolve around a generational genocide that was unending. So this is the absolute worst news to hear, and Bonnie, I am so sorry that they recruited them out, because they are an elite fighting force, and then you'd fall into a silence. to a computer fan. That's the loudest that's been. But, in fact, let me see if I can damper that a second. It is so cold in my room, y'all, even though the heat is set to 70. I am wearing pajama bottoms. But the cool thing is that they're Grinch pajama bottoms, so you can't see my leg. So, all right, let's see if this will make any difference. Nope, it's pretty loud. Oh well, I'm sorry, guys. Ugh. That's the business. All right. Cool. Let's look at my notes real quick. Okay. Victor was crying during that, so. Good actor. Toot toot. Looks at Bonnie and apologizes, and then kind of steps towards the bar. He steps behind the bar because everyone else is kind of in front of it and sitting at the stools. And Toot Toot, he excuses himself, just kind of wordlessly, just apologetically, and then goes, come on. No. So everyone's kind of here just in the middle of the tap room. Here's the bar. And then he kind of exits out and then into the pantry and the kitchen. And he is composing himself because the wind completely got knocked out of him. And then as he leaves, then leaves everyone else kind of just there. Tipsy goes, "Oh, that's a real bummer to hear. So you're a princess?" And then Bonnie goes, "Yes, I am." Cool. What about the other three? Should we wait until Tutu comes back for this? But oh boy, this is a long day, huh? I think I don't know what to do. Like, obviously there's a timetable on this because they're coming for you. So we need to find... No, okay, let's do it, and then we can catch Toot up. So we need to find the other three. Paige, you need to get that book out of the thing or whatever. And then Paige is like, as soon as we are done here, then yes, I'm going back to my bookstore. And then I'm going to take that book off the shelves. And then maybe, Rock, if you want to go over to my bookstore to also read it. And then Rock goes, we will talk about it. We will see. Mm-hmm. And then Tipsy goes, okay, so that solves one of the things. So tell me about the other three people, please. And so Bonnie goes, of course. The easiest one to find is my tutor, as it were. His shape-shifting ability physically is far superior than anyone else in anywhere. He taught me everything he knew, and he was really in the castle. He was my academic teacher, and then when it was decreed that we were to leave, then he wanted to join me to make sure that I was safe. So keep in mind, physically, he is
one of the best shapeshifters around, okay? He can be found at the theater. He's been in a number of plays. Okay, great. So that's one. That's the teacher guy. What about the other two? The other two are going to be harder to find because they are... one is my protector. She is a Goliath. But don't let that fool you because we've been here for months and then I haven't seen a lot of her. She's one of the best warriors in Anywhere warriors. And so she will be hard to track down. And then the other one was a nobleman, one of the high lords of Anywhere. And it has also been difficult to track down. So I haven't been able to find him. But he is not as nice as the other two. And then Tipsy goes, okay, well, we can start at the theater, but right now it's super late, y'all. This has been a long day of me just reading mostly, and then y'all had some stuff you were telling me about a little bit. So this sounds like a tomorrow thing. Yeah? And then at the end of that, then he takes that bottle of the now third full bottle because they were drinking a while. And then he is just binge drinking it. And then Argo chimes in. Argo, the blue tiefling. And then she says, yes, tomorrow, and then I will come back and then assist however I can. I think it might be best. I think you agreeing to help is the best that we could achieve tonight. So, if one of you could help me carry him out, and then she gestures her head over to the loudly snoring three strings who's just kind of splayed out in his chair. That would help me a lot. And then before she finishes that sentence, then Onyx goes over and then kind of grabs one of the chair legs underneath three strings and then yanks the chair back. Let's do a strength roll for that. Please be good. An 11 plus athletics 6. So with a 17, sure enough. And then, oh, wow. That hurt. And then three strings falls. And then Onyx, with another athletics roll, with a 3 plus a 6. Okay, with a 9, he grabs onto the front shirt of three strings, but with a 9, which isn't great, he grabs onto some of the skin and meat underneath, and then three strings go, ow, 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 owie, ouchie. And then he drags him towards the front of Troll Skull Manor, and then with a third athletics roll, 15 plus 6, then out the stairs with a 21, then Onyx chucks this flamboyant bard who gets thrown through the air, and then his peacock feather and his berets kind of, and then and he tumbles into kind of the melting snow dirt road outside, and then Algo goes, that was efficient. Thank you very much, Onyx. Mm-hmm. And then Onyx trudges back. And then Algo starts walking towards the door, and then Bonnie goes, thank you all very much. I really, really do appreciate this. And when we all get together, the doppelgang, then it might be best for us to leave Waterdeep. And then she looks around sadly with her cherub-like face and kind of frowns a little bit. Then she breathes and then follows Algo out. And then Leaf floats behind them and watches three people leave and then slowly closes the door. And then Toot Toot in the kitchen is kind of just everything in Troll Skull Manor is kind of bare because they just got new furniture, and there are these like long, shallow, narrow tables lining the north and south wall of the kitchen. It's like countertop kind of counters, and then he's just there trying to catch his breath, but the more he focuses on his breath, then the quicker it tries to get, and no, it's okay, it's fine. And then you hear, hey man, and then toot toot, and then with his eyes wet, like jerks behind him, and then sees Tipsy staring up. Hey, I'm sorry about that. That sounds like it really, really sucks. Yes, that is, as Bonnie said before, not the best case scenario. I'm sorry. I know I keep taking stuff because I'm a rogue, but here. And then he gives Toot Toot just a nice hug around Toot Toot's like leg, and then Toot Toot building towards a panic attack, bends down and then hugs Tipsy, and Toot Toot's almost kind of bent halfway over, but he hugs Tipsy. Yeah, I'm sorry. And then you hear through lungs that can project into an auditorium, deep sobs. And we're just focused on Tipsy's face, and he winces just for like empathy, and that's Toot Toot. It's okay. Let it out. And then the sobs do grow. Yeah, that's it. It's okay. Hey. You left your people, but you found new people. We're your new people, so maybe that's a name for our group, the New People. It's not very good. Can we be the new kids on the block? No. But we're getting there. We're brainstorming. It's okay. And then it's just this little moment of my two teas in the kitchen. And then interesting. So I'm just going to weave a tale of how the scene ends instead of following everyone out. Then we will have because right now in the tap room is just Leaf, Rock, Paige, and Onyx. And Rock and Paige are talking a little bit, and then they leave to go collect the book. And then it's just Onyx and Leaf in the tap room. And then eventually a emotionally exhausted Toot Toot emerges out of the kitchen holding Tipsy like he was doing through the sewers, of just like the toddler pose of Tipsy is just kind of on Toot Toot's hip. I'm going to bed. Good night, gentlemen. And then kind of he takes Tipsy and then plops him onto the top of the bar, and then he goes upstairs. And then Tipsy goes, oh boy. Onyx, you and I drink a whole bunch, huh? Yeah. You know when you're drinking and then something happens and then like you've pretty much like get shocked into stone cold sober.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, man. I was trying to drink, and then some hot babes came in, and then they left, and then y'all didn't do anything, and then Bonnie is a thing, and then Tutu got real sad. You can't drink. Well, actually, you can drink super good when you're sad. Ugh. And that bottle just tastes horrible. And then we cut to Onyx, who's...
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah. I wanted to get plastered. But alas, what time is it? That's late. I hate that book! Onyx, I hate reading.
Okay.
No, it's fine. All right. Good night. And then he goes upstairs and... Let's see. It's like 10 now. Which is late for Victor, so... no, that's too much. I'm going to roll a d6 to see how many more hours he reads. 6 hours! Okay. Oh, shit. That's 4 a.m., huh? Okay. No, that's unrealistic. This is a game of Dungeons & Dragons, but I, Victor, can't read from 10 to 4 a.m. a boring book. No, I'm going to half that because that is, yeah, no. He will read until 1 a.m. I will give him that because no, he can't. No. If I read an engrossing book, I can't even do it until 4 a.m. No. So he reads for 3 more hours and then he passes out. And then Onyx, like, I don't know how fantasy time telling works. So outside you hear 12 dongs. as soon as 12 left my mouth, and I'm like, the next word's going to be awesome. No. So there's a clock tower nearby, and it strikes midnight with 12 big old dongs. That's the episode 24, 12 big dongs. No. So you hear midnight chime, and then Onyx, who's just kind of standing in the tap room, looks over at Leaf, and then Leaf, like, raises his eyebrows. Huh? And then he floats through the bar to one of the walls, and then he starts with his ghostly hand, like, wiping the chalk away, and then the chalk falls. Oh, okay, good. The chalk falls onto the preserved sealant floor, and then Onyx is just watching curiously. And then Leaf leaves. No, then Leaf. Oh, okay. Leaf, from what I imagine when I talk about all the art on the walls, is really like that main wall, and then that is some wall to like really be done up really nice. Boy howdy, that computer. I'm sorry, y'all. Normally, like, only like 2 other episodes has it been this bad, but this might be the worst. Anyways, it's fine. So then from here, yeah, so Leaf will kind of just back up into the middle. No, hold on. How does all this work? Oh, no. Okay. Because I was trying to see what the mechanics of this is. So he backs up into the middle, and then he just disappears up into the ceiling. Because I was trying to see if he was at that wall still, then could he just go up? But then he would end up going through Onyx's room, and Leaf is more respectful of that. So he leaves, and then Onyx is just kind of looking around. Alone, but not abandoned. Everyone else has left, but he knows that the next morning they're all going to come back. So he feels better. And then he's looking around to the walls that are now being brushed, and like all the chalk dust is coming off. And then he stares over at how Faye Reagan left them by going up and then manipulating the chalk art to stay
to transform into the campsite that they were at the previous night, of the two broken halves of the wagon and then the campsite and then the three silhouettes. And he's just staring at that because Leaf was trying to wipe it off and knock him off. So that's kind of a permanent addition to the Troll Skull Manor. And he's staring at that. Okay. And then after a bit of silence, then he sees some black chalk float its way down the stairs and then go over, and then Leaf materializes and then starts sketching out some really like tall rectangular things, and then Onyx kind of plumps down off of the stool at the bar and then makes his way up to his room for a night's sleep. So that is where we leave Shay 19, which we've been in for 4 episodes. Yes, that is the end of Fayday. So I have an in-game calendar with the Dungeons and Dragons months of the year. And so now we are done with Shay 19, which is like March. So that is episode 20 through 24. Neat. And so the next day Shay 20. Then as we all wake up, let's see. Let's actually roll, because this is a fun mechanic of letting the dice tell me the narrative. So, again, Tipsy's 1, Onyx is 2, Rock is 3, 4. Who wakes up, and who are we going to follow? 3, Rock. So then Rock, who spent up until he read until 4 a.m., I'll tell you that. Then he wakes up in his librarian study. Even is yes, odd is no. 4 is even. He wakes up in a leather chair in the study, the librarian study. And then he kind of stretches. Ow, ooh, and then can just feel his body slept kind of wrong. And he is kind of checking in with himself physically and then feeling how that's going to suck for Shay 20. And then he kind of stretches and looks around at his 3 out of 4 walls that are mostly empty bookshelves. And as he stretches his neck a little bit and he's looking for his small glasses, and then he reaches over to a small little table next to this, again, oversized leather chair, and then he puts them on, and then he stares towards the window where it's this little platform up third of the librarian study. It's kind of this elevated platform with a desk and another chair, and then stirring in the bed, in Rock's bed, is Paige the Wordsmith, who is, you could just see, like, just turning over. And Rock let her sleep in the bed, and then Rock slept in his leather chair, okay? I want that to be perfectly clear, because he is a gentleman. So, he kind of gets up and stretches. Oh, ooh-wee. And then he walks over to his desk where they are about halfway through this book on the desk called The Monster Manual. And so then he's learning all about that, but also a couple of his other books, like Volo's Guide to Monsters is open, and there's
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Oh, wow. This is great. So, yeah, there's a couple books open on this desk, and well, you can probably tell there will always be a couple books open on this desk. Should have muted that. Sorry. So then Volo's Guide to Monsters is open. The Monster Manual is open. A couple spell books are open. The ASL, the ASMR sign language book is open, and they are turned, like, the first couple pages are just the alphabet, so those are turned, and so Paige and Rock are starting on the numbers. And then pretty much every book that he has in his inventory is up, and like the scroll tubes are open and scrolls are out and like weighed down by a little couple beanbags, and then finding his glasses and putting them on, and then hearing just waking up noises from his bed. Then he goes over to his table and picks up his spell book and puts it in his inventory. And then for the Monster Manual, they read all of the pages for the doppelganger, and then went on to read A through, 26 letters of the alphabet. I will roll. 7 plus 5, 12. So, what's the 12th letter of the alphabet? E-J-O-J-K-L-L. So, L. So, they read... What a cool mechanic. Oh, that should have been... whatever. It doesn't matter. They read a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, fascinating. Through L. Lycanthropes. So, oh boy, let's see A through L right now. What they have encountered so far. So, did they encounter? Yeah, they have encountered an Aarakocra. Rock has. So, Rock is looking over his desk, and then he remembers A through L, and then last night after Rock and Paige walked to the Bookworm's Treasure, they got the book, made sure the bookstore was closed up, and then walked back, and then they spent the 6 hours that Tipsy rolled from 10 to 4 a.m. spreading out all the books and the scrolls and reading through them. And then as they read Doppelganger, and then they went back and started at A, then he tells them about the Aarakocra that him and Toot Toot met in the field ward, the vulture Aarakocras, or the buzzard bros. A little bit about angels, because, well, now hold on, are angels ASMR, or are they different? I think they're different. Yeah, I think they're different. ASMR is like an angel folk, an angelkin that you can play as a player character, but angels are actually different. Okay. I'll just go through this and say it out loud instead of me reading it quietly to myself, which makes great live stream. Aarakocra, Aboleth, Angels, Animated Objects, Onkeg, Aesir, Banshee, Basilisk, Behir, Beholders, Blights, Bugbears, Bullet, Bullywug, Cambion, Carrion Crawler, Centaur. No. Chimera, Cool. I don't know what that is. What's a Chul? Victor, don't look that up. It sounds dirty. Oh, it's kind of like a weird lobster guy. Anyways. A Cloaker, a Cockatrice, a Quaddle, Crawling Claw, Cyclops, Dark Mantle, Death Knight, Demi-Lich, Demons, Devils, Dinosaurs. Victor needs to know what the difference between demons and devils are. Dinosaurs, Displacer Beast, Doppelganger, Bing Bing Bing, Dracolich, Shadow Dragon, Dragons. Oh, and so then with that, then Paige. Ooh, this is nice. Paige will describe to Rock like how a Dragonborn is a thing. Victor doesn't know, but Paige does. Let's see. Dragons, 86. So Paige is a bronze dragon. See, look, there's Doppelganger. That's what I'm talking about, y'all, when I and mentioning like the purple alien. Fascinating, huh? Very creepy. Like that seems like some fucking like Appalachian, the northeastern states, like urban myths. Like I would much rather run into a Bigfoot than a doppelganger in like a night hike. Let's see. So Paige is Dragonborn, and she, just as a aesthetic choice that I chose, she has a lot of patina. So if you see bronze statues, and it's just a lot of, they're covered in that green teal rust, except for there's bronze statues of dogs. So like their nose are wiped clean and like, okay, brass dragon. So also for dragons, metallic dragons are good, and then chromatic dragons are bad. I don't know more than that. I should do research. So last night, Paige says, so bronze dragons are coastal dwellers that feed primarily on aquatic plants and fish, so I'm a pescatarian. They take the form of friendly animals to observe other creatures of interest. They are also fascinated by warfare and eagerly join armies fighting for a just cause. So that works out very well, because when Bonnie asked for your help for the Harpers, I want to help, because gosh darn it, I am invested. So a ribbed and fluted crest defines the shape of a bronze dragon's head. Curving horns extend out from the crest, echoed by spines on the lower jaw and chin. What is it? What does this mean? To help them swim, bronze dragonborns have webbed feet and smooth scales. A bronze wormling's scales are yellow tinged with green. Hey! I love going through D&D stuff and then coming up with a detail in my head and then reading like a paragraph later that's exactly what happened. Reading through Waterdeep Dragon Heist, there were a lot of those moments, and it was awesome. So only as the dragon approaches adulthood does its color deepen to a darker, rich bronze tone. The pupils of a bronze dragon's eyes fades as the dragon ages until they resemble glowing green orbs. Okay. Yeah, so bronze dragons are lawful good. Or chaotic good. Interesting. Cool. But then Rock, after hearing Paige talk about herself for a while, then he goes, oh yes, well, we have encountered a red dragonborn, so I wonder how that is different. I do not know. Dragons, dragon turtle, drider, dryad, duragar, elementals, elves, drow, Epyrean, I don't know what that is, ethercat, ethercap, Eteen, fairy dragon, flame skull, flumph, Formorian, fungi. Hey, Paige. Yes, Rock? Hi, I'm a fun guy. I knew you were going to say that. Galeb Drewer. That sounds like a guy. What's a Galeb Drewer? This is the episode now, yo. Oh, he's cute. Galeb Drewer. He's like a... Oh, boy. That doesn't look good in the stream, huh? I saw that flash before my eyes. That's a fungus. That's a mushroom, y'all. That's a little, like, rock guy. A golem. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I'm going to get flagged. I'm going to get shadow banned or something. Gargoyle Genie's ghost. Oh, we have a ghost. Mm-hmm. And so he talks a little bit about Leaf and how the building is haunted, because Paige, over a couple interactions, has learned more about like Leaf and stuff from Tipsy and from Rock. Ghouls, giants, gibbering mouther. That's more like Tipsy. Am I right? Yes, he does like talking. He certainly does. Gift gnolls, gnome, deep gnome. Deep gnome. Yes. So, Paige, just so you know, be aware when you go into Dark Ward that there's a place called Odd Ogzob's Shop, or Odd Zolob's Shop. And the proprietor there
he has also, well, he has taken a liking to me, and not in a good way. So be careful for a deep gnome named Ogslop, because he was a bit of a slob. Goblins, golems, gorgon, grell, grick, griffin, grimlock, hags, half-dragon, harpy, hellhound, helmed horror, hippogriff, hobgoblins, homunculus, hook horror, hydra, intellect devourer. And then Rock shares his near-death experience with an intellect devourer in episode 8 of D&Me, after the current episode 7 crappy encounters. Then in episode 8, Stony Halls and Close Calls, then he had a near-death experience with an intellect devourer. Invisible Stalker, Jackalware, Kenku, and then he tells him about the Kenku warehouse. Kobolds, and then he talks about the kobolds in Crimson Concave, or no, Convex Crimson, or Crimson Convex. Kraken, Kutoa, Lima, Lich, Lizard Folk, and Lycanthropes. And then they end with Rock describing, wow, we've encountered a lot of monsters here in D&Me. How exciting. How amazing. So he finishes it up the night with, so we encountered down in the sewers right before my near-death experience with an intellect devourer, were-rats. So Tipsy had a rather alarming experience with were-rats where he got bit. So that was a bit traumatizing for me to experience on the sidelines, but I'm sure him getting the full brunt of that bite. And then you can sleep in the bed if you wish. And then that's how 4 a.m. happened. And then so he has all those papers out, and then he takes a little vial with like a little cork stopper, and we don't see it that well, and then he puts it in his pocket, and then he stares at the bed, and then sees Paige had fallen back asleep, and then he quietly goes over and then puts on his outer robe. He was wearing clothes, sitting in the leather chair, don't worry. And then he quietly exits and closes the door, and then heads downstairs. And that is where we're going to take a break real quick. Okay, great. So right before I go on intermission, lots of stuff is happening in the chat. That's exciting. So I'm going to go on an intermission to refill my water bottle and then use the restroom. So I'm going to play an intermission of Bradley's theme song again. So again, that's 10 seconds of silence and then 20 seconds of a countdown and then the fabulous theme song. So I will be right back. Okay, bye.
Come, friend, now lend me an ear for a tale of Victor the Weird. He went on an adventure with he, him, and himself, and also his mighty fine beard. Now gather round, I'll tell you about this mighty beast. He may look as human, as mere as you, friend, but soon your eyes will feast upon this marvelous creature with many body parts. His one shirt may fool you, but what if I told you his chest had 4 red hearts? One mouth but 1,000 voices, one mind and limited choices, 2 handsome dice, 2 handsome dice. The audience rejoices. He's going to play D&D with him, himself, and he. The those are his pronouns. It's really profound. It's time for D&Me, featuring Victor and 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 meet one knows who knows how many repeats. So come and sit down in an empty seat. It's time for D&Me. Two eyes, four cheeks, two souls on his feet, two hands for winning and foes to defeat, one tongue, two lips through which to speak, but just one but.
Such a good theme song. So thank you again, Bradley Owens. You can find them on Instagram at bradleyovens.com. Nope. Bradley, Bread, L-E-Y, Ovens. So as we wait for people to come back from the restroom to vamp a little bit, then I'm going to read some of the chat because Goat vs. Fish told me to interact with the chat because it's very important because Twitch is like a live stream media. So like a live stream social media. So yes, a couple highlight my message redeemed channel points. So Dodie or something at 643. Howdy. Hello. And then Paige, thank you so much for contributing to the chat a whole bunch. It's great to have you. And yeah, I saw one of them was every time you say Paige, I think you're talking to me. Lol. Just to let you know, I took your name for the and then I keep forgetting you are Paige. So when I'm talking about Paige, I'm talking about my bronze Dragonborn. So yes, let's see. Let's go. So pretty. And then a kitty cat emoji of wow. Paige says, are we going to be able to get them as stickers? With these, the Farwin art, I'm thinking about it. I have a whole lot of plans for like art and merchandise. I know I have like 4 things on my Redbubble store right now, but there's a lot of opportunity coming up. So, wowzers. Paige, it me. I've been waiting for this. Be careful with scissors. Talking about me unboxing the Icewinddale. Listen, Tipsy does whatever he wants. I can't control him. Only the man or congrats. It's sounding good. Hello. Angelito El Guapo says, good summary. Thank you. I am working on D and recaps. I had a couple suggestions of like, if you don't have, 23 times 2.5 hours to catch up on D&Me, then I do want to do like little bite-sized chunks of like every 5 episodes. So actually, Aaron W. Boop. First time chat. Hello, Aaron. It's have ya. Aaron, I do not have a Discord. I looked into it. I don't know if you're still, or I'll just message you afterwards. But I do not have a Discord. It's very scary to me. I investigated it a little bit while starting D&Me, and I was like, that's a lot. So I was doing other stuff before getting a Discord. So I'll tell you that in a Facebook message if you are not here right now. So let's see. Oh, I love that reaction. Purple heart. Yay. I love the color coordination, y'all. Orange, obviously, is my favorite color. So yes. Oh, that's so cool. Character art by Farwin. So yes, color coordination with my boys. Ecology Vance. I love the new character art. Thank you. Spruce H says, Bonnie's Bone Boys. No, I can't do that. Bonnie's Blessed Boys. Good. Where are Victor's legs? I can't hear it really at all. So talking about the computer fan. Good. I'm glad because I can hear it, but I can also hear cars outside, but y'all can't, as I discovered in the first couple episodes. So that's good. Agreed on the computer fan, and also toot toot, my heart breaks. Good. Every time you say Paige, I think you're talking to me. Tipsy out here trying to have a good time. Yeah, I certainly am. Paige says, I've definitely read that long. That's a lot of dongs. I like all of these out of context. Tomorrow I'll watch it with context. Like, I rewatch every episode Thursday morning, so I'll see the content, but that's a lot of dongs. All night book party. I just keep thinking it's my computer fan. No worries. Your laptop isn't loud. We can't hear it, so don't worry. Precious, very gentleman. I know. I'm so happy to be here. And me too. Welcome back from the restroom or getting a glass of something good. So the next day, Rock comes downstairs and meets everyone else who is also downstairs, who is all my boys. So kind of just sitting watching. They don't have breakfast stuff, huh? They don't have food in. They're munching on gin and juice. No, that was last night. They have rations. So all my boys are just eating some rations. Future Victor, mark that down. And they're just kind of silently chewing on jerky at the bar, watching Leaf kind of float up and like just doing these pretty cool sketches. And then they're watching like Rise Up without Rise Up. Rise Up. Rise Up with like this black chalk and doing sketches. And they're just all kind of, And then Rock finally comes down the stairs and looks over. And then what we see is Leaf in the beginning stages of, he took down all the chalk art of the Feywild, of the fairyland. And as Rock is watching them sketch, watching Leaf sketch, then Tutu leans over. Yeah, so again, I asked Leaf if he wants to take down the chalk art only because we were visited by 4 Fae yesterday, and I don't exactly want the reminder, and it looks like he's having fun doing, look at him. And then Leaf turns around with a huge smile, like a manic almost smile, as if he's been doing this all night because Leaf doesn't need to sleep. So and then he goes back into it. Cool. So I had this written in my notes. Hold on. I guess it's in some other notes. So hold on 2 seconds. I have many Word documents. Okay. Yeah, it was his choice. So he looks like he's just happier than pig and slop right now. Is that offensive to are any of you pig folk? No, it's interesting to see who's doing what now. So, yeah. And then what Leaf is ending up sketching is like the buildings on the outside. And so what the effect will ultimately look like is that we are standing in the Troll Center and then just seeing the buildings as if the wall wasn't there. So like right now he's sketching all of the buildings and the bits, and they're all just kind of mesmerized because the force perspective is incredible, and they're just chewing on jerky. So as soon as Rock finishes coming down the stairs, then Toot. Okay, so we need food here. We need glasses and like plates. We just can't keep eating our rations, which is another lyric, I believe. But so here at the beginning of the day, Leaf is doing that because which holiday is coming up next? Because we just finished Fae Day. It felt like 4 weeks in Fae Day, and then Leaf's right-handed, so he will actually still sketch, but he will sign out with his left hand. Huh? Hold on. Fleetwake. Fleet's Wake with an S. That's what Leaf signed. I don't know anything about that, but he's doing this for that. So, and then Rock goes, I actually know all about Fleet's Wake. I said that another time. So, just so everyone here knows what Fleet's Wake is, man, the holiday that is coming up is it's Shay 21 through 30, so it's going to be tomorrow and then for the rest of the 10-day, which is remarkable that there are so many holidays, Shay, that we have
encountered so far, Leaf? And then Leaf nods, a fan of the holidays, it seems. So, the festival celebrates the sea, maritime trade, and the gods of the sea, navigation, and weather. And then Onyx pipes up, "Hey, I'm the sea. I did the sea. And who?" He points over at Tutu. "You did the sea too. You were on the sea." "I certainly was. Good job, Onyx." "Yeah. It spans the last 10 days of Shay and includes a series of boat races, the Shipwrights Ball, Shipwrights House, and guild-sponsored galas at the Copper Cup Fest Hall. According to custom, the winners of the various competitions don't keep their trophies and earnings, but deliver them to the priests of Umberley at the Queen's Spire, her temple on the beach by the east entrance to the Great Harbor, at the conclusion of the festival. The last 2 days of Fleet's Week... The last 2 days of Fleet's Wake... It's a good thing there's only 10 days of that I have to go through in-game. The last 2 days are the occasion of the Fair Seas Festival. During this time, there is much feasting on seafood. Yummy. The harbor is strewn with flower petals, and city guards go from the tavern to collecting offerings for Umberley. Collection boxes also appear at the large festival gatherings. Upon sunset on the final day, the collected coin is placed in chests and dumped into the deepest part of the harbor. And then at that, both Onyx and are... And then the other side, Tipsy. What? Yeah, no, it looks like they just leave it there. And then, then Tipsy kind of... slowly, quietly, calmly, collectedly gets off of his bar stool and then walks over to Leaf and then looks up. "Dear Leaf, my fellow, could you point at this fabulous cityscape that you are arting? Which way is the way to the harbor?" And then Leaf kind of stops sketching and then looks down at Tipsy, and then Tipsy is just kind of staring down at his feet. Then Leaf floats across the tap room to the south, and then he just boom, 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 like touches the wall towards the south, and then Tipsy very nonchalantly looks over towards the south wall. "Oh, very good, my good fellow. That is a non sequitur to anything we were talking about just now." "Oh, Tipsy, you silly boy." Let's roll for performance. 18, though. All right, that should be at disadvantage. 18 plus, what's your performance? Plus 3, 21. I mean, that was the same 18. All right, well, fine. Then Onyx is like, "Whoa, you just want to know where it is? I want to know where it is so I can get that." And then Tipsy goes, I fooled one with my unearned 21 performance roll. And then shakes his head and then floats back towards the north wall where he's still sketching some more. An interesting point of order, when you see all these like blueprint sketches and like really, if you've seen the beginning pieces of art that is like forced perspective of a city, then all the lines are converging onto the horizon and stuff. On the south wall, there is still that campsite art depicted there, and you see a lot of powdered chalk underneath that lying on the floor, as if someone was trying to like either erase it or draw over it or something, and that persistent art is still there. So interesting. So then Rock amusedly kind of goes back to his book. "Sure. This festival has existed in a number of forms since the first trades meets occurred here more than 2 millennia ago, and an unaccountable amount of wealth remains sunken in what has long been known as Umberley's cash." Tipsy, you are drooling. There is literal literal coming out of your mouth, running down your shirt. No, I'm fine. Just keep going. Well, just some more. Tell me more about it, Mr. Rockman. The area is closely watched by merfolk guardians whose standing orders are to kill anyone attempting to disturb it. And then Tipsy's mouth closes. Rumors abound that the chests have magical properties. One story tells of thieves who stole some of the collection years ago and tried to leave the city under false pretenses, only to see a squall spring up as soon as their ship left the harbor. A huge wave shaped like a hand swept the thieves overboard, but spared the ship and its crew. Rock closes the book and stares heavily at Tipsy, and then Tipsy excuse me. And then he walks over into the kitchen, and then you hear, "Are you fucking kidding me, man? What the hell is
Oh, man. I wanted to steal some of that.
What good is a holiday that's 10 days if I can't even just pay it? And I have to pay them? I haven't been here a whole 10 days.
Oh, well.
And then that's very funny. So then Toot Toot, like, kind of closing off his ear that's closest to the kitchen, is so beyond that, it's good to know that Fleet's Wake is a thing that we have to be aware of. Onyx, when you were the sea, did you experience Umberly, who is the god of sea, isn't she? She's a god of the ocean?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. She's nice.
You've met her?
I don't know.
Onyx, as the practitioner of stories here, you are... Okay. I did choose merfolk as the type of creature I do want to study if I was part of the Hogwarts learnings. So, that's something. Anyway. So, this morning, I need to go down to the yawning portal again. It seems as though I do keep doing that, but I want to check off all the boxes. But I am there, going down there to meet Ban. Does anyone else have anything to do?
Yeah, I need to go pick up armor.
Oh, my bone armor! And then you just see him run out of frame, and the bar stool, thump, 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 thump. And then the door opens, and then you just see the just hoofing it, this dwarf barbarian, excitedly running across the block. Yeah. And so Tutu goes, he is just the most interesting little fella, huh? Rock, what are you going to do? I think I am going to finish reading the monster manual. Well, there's a couple things I could be doing. One, I could be putting in... Did you know that if me and Paige were to finish curing... Oh, if me and Paige... Well, she has a store to run, but if me and Paige were to use sealant on the floors, then that would be half the time. I would talk to her. Maybe she's interested. And then Toot Toot, oh, great, are you going to see Paige later on today? And then coming down the stairs is Paige, who, some swaths of the teal green sand has kind of rubbed off on her, and she, like, bashfully comes down the stairs. Paige, I'm sorry that you're watching a very Paige-heavy episode, apparently. And she comes down and, good morning, and wiggles her fingers out at Toot Toot, whose jaw opens, and then he moves his head over to Rock, and then Rock, no, we were just reading in the then Paige says, Rock was a perfect gentleman. He let me use his bed as we read into the wee hours of the morning.
Uh-huh.
That is all we did. And I slept on the big leather, the chair with leather on it, with the leather chair in my room, which is the librarian's study, where nothing untoward happened.
Uh-huh.
And then Tipsy comes back. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're here already, Paige. Okay, cool. So the book was handled. We should go towards the theater. Oh, toot toot. You were in the kitchen, but here's the lay of the land about the 3 people we need to find. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now that's over.
What an amazing story mechanic you just used, Tipsy.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I am going to go towards Ban now at the Yawning Portal to talk with him about further correspondence. Rock, you are going, or are you staying?
I will be doing the sealant on the floor. By myself? And then he looks up at Paige. Unfortunately, I do have to go back to my store. Yes. I slept very well last night. Thank you very much. Rock, you are very welcome. Wait, what do you mean? Hey.
And then Tipsy walks kind of like, a little close to Rock.
Hey, buddy. What does she mean by that? Not the chair. The leather chair in the librarian's study.
And then Paige is walking towards the entrance, the doorway, and goes,
Okay, have a good day, gentlemen.
and then she leaves. And then just a barrage of meets Rock. And then Rock goes, I'm gonna start sealanting things. And then he like his robes glide behind him as he takes the stairs 3 at a time.
Oh, what a little guy, huh? Oh man, I need to keep reading. Fuck.
And then Tipsy trudges towards the stairs and takes 1 stair at a time. Let's see how many hours. Yeah, and then 3 more hours on the clock for Tipsy. Oh shoot. That's 10 hours. I'll figure that out later. So he goes up and then toot toot. He looks up at Leaf. Young love, am I right, Leaf? And then Leaf kind of turns around and sighs a bit. Oh, right, Estella, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Hey, buddy, look, it's an adventure hook that's still open, so I haven't forgotten. Hey, he points towards his elephant head. I have not forgotten, okay? So we'll help you out there, buddy. So it's looking marvelous so far. And this is all for Fleet's Wake? And then Leaf perks back up. All right. You keep at it, but let me know if, well, I guess let Rock know if you need any more chalk so that he can go to the person who gave the chalk. So, oh, that's cute. Let's see. That Rock, is there a fun song, Rock? Something. Oh, boy. I'll figure it out. I have a long walk down to the Yawning Portal. And so then Toot Toot leaves. the imagery of just Onyx's back, and he's so funny. Onyx is probably the funniest one. Which is funny because, Tipsy and Toot Toot are hilarious also. And Rock has his moments. Yeah, Rock as a Brit, that's very good. I need to keep that consistent. So, Toot Toot is now walking the many blocks southward down the high road towards the Yawning Portal, which is the biggest
tavern / inn, and the most well-known, the most famous one in Waterdeep, which is the city that they all live in. So Toot Toot will roll. Hey, that's a natural 20. That's great. Plus 3 for perception. Oh, okay. So he's walking, and then he's breathing in through his trunk the fresh morning air, and how this is a new journey southward, not burdened by the jarring imagery of a drunk dragonborn falling down a well that weighed him down on his trek northward. So yesterday. So Toot Toot is walking, and he's just enjoying the sights and sounds. And then before he makes a turn into the little alley where he met Ban a couple days earlier to talk espionage, then he notices a cloaked figure a street further on, like just in that entranceway, and then this figure is really obvious, conspicuous, of like looking at Toot Toot and then snapping his attention away, and then giving it a couple seconds, then looking back up at Toot Toot, and then just looking the other direction. And Toot Toot clocks this. And then with the natural 20 plus 3, 23 perception, then he notices kind of like as like this cloaked figure, but also has a hood, but like makes eye contact, then jerks away. And then part of this cloaked figure is also like just pulling the hood up. But as he does, then his sleeve falls down a little bit, and then you can see marking on the back of the hand, which is a circle and then 10 equidistant lines on it. And then Toot Toot notes that. And then he walks, instead of turning down the alleyway that he met Ban at earlier, he walks towards the cloaked figure, and then the cloaked figure and then runs off. Oh boy, with a 2 for stealth, then he poorly hides, and then Toot Toot then quickens his pace to go towards the entranceway, and then he like is standing in this entranceway, which is empty except for a couple boxes and barrels, and then the the cloaked figure kind of just squatting behind one of the barrels, and then Toot Toot goes, Ban? And then this figure just stands up and then books it down the further on in the alleyway. And then Toot Toot. Flight or fright response. So if it's so I've heard flight or fight, and then also freeze. And then I think there might have been a fourth one, but let's see if Toot Toot will. Okay. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 is fight. So go towards, let me actually do this with something actually divisible by 6 instead of a D20 and then embarrassing myself with math. So if it's a 1 or a 4, then he will choose fight and then run after the cloaked assailant. 2 or a 5, he will freeze, and then flight. 3 or 6, then he will exit the alleyway. 6, and then when it's kind of that startle where then the cloaked figure straightens up from behind the barrel and then runs the opposite direction, and then Toot Toot, oh jeez, and so he backs up out of the alleyway and goes back towards the original alleyway that he met Ban at, and then sure enough, like with a little then Toot Toot looks into the alleyway and then sees nonchalantly but kind of purposefully
leap against like a lamp post is Ban, who human bandit, but he got his teeth knocked out of him, so he's wearing like this bindle bandana around, kind of like an old timey cartoon toothache. And so then Ban kind of not whistling because his mouth can't really move. Humming, I guess, is an alternative. So he's and then he was looking around and then spots Toot Toot coming down into the alleyway. And then Toot Toot goes towards him quickly. Ben, did you know that there's another Xanathar Guild member out that way? And then Ban will roll something. So that was either persuasion or deception. And then Toot Toot, I just for shits and gigs, Toot Toot will roll. Okay. Well, no, I just want to see if Toot Toot. Oh, Toot with a 17 though. Plus insight, which is a 20. Or 17 plus 3 insight, which is an unnatural 20 versus Ban's natural 20. So Ban goes, his brows go in sincere confusion, and then Toot Toot comes up. Yeah, there was someone in the other alleyway with a marker with the Xanathar Guild emblem on it. Did you know that? Like, were you followed? Was that one of your friends? And then Ban like, and then goes towards the entrance of the alleyway, and then looks. He like leaves for a little bit towards the other alleyway, and then Toot Toot is left alone in this alley, and then he will look around to see if like further on down like an aisle in Lowe's, like the giant hardware store, like if the aisles like meet up halfway through or something. So Toot Toot will look around with a 3. He sure doesn't. A 3 plus a 3 perception, so 6 altogether. Then he kind of like looks down, and the alley seems to just keep going, and then Ban like walks back, not at a hurried pace, back into the alley, and like shrugs and shakes his head. Oh, well, geez, you need to be careful. We need to be careful, all right? Because, like, being an informant, we, okay, just keep an eye out, because that didn't feel right, okay? And, like, nods. Okay. Anyways, you wanted to meet me here? What's up? And then Ban takes out a little chalkboard. I was going to say whiteboard, but that's not technology made in fantasy. So, I just looked at the chat, and then at 8:49, my mom said, Tipsy and Onyx are going to piss off Poseidon. That's great. That's very funny. And then at 8:55, Tipsy #1 fan _ says, "Oh, scandalous." So, and then Paige says, "Oh my God, I'm finally meeting your mom, kind of." So yes, Paige McCant meet Dodie or something, who is my mother, and then Spruce H is my sister, and then Angelito el Guapo is my dad. So, my family, blood family, this is Paige McCat, well, Paige McKay, but screen name Paige McCat from When Can We Play? So the Blades in the Dark game, she played Barnum, Fanny Barnum, who was the deranged clown, murderous clown. So, yay. So excited to meet you all. I'm Barnum, the murder clown. There we go. Great minds think. So that's fun. Y'all can chat it up in the chat. Hey, Angelito el Guapo. Hello, Paige. Yay. Good. My blood family meeting my performance family. That's good. I like it. So then Ban a la Trumpet Swan brings up a small chalkboard and a piece of chalk. Hey, some more chalk. And then, like white chalk on a black chalkboard, then he writes, just wanted to meet. Things are still... And then Ban kind of erases that with the heel of his hand. And then actually something has come up. Xanathar and his higher-ups are jittery. Something has happened. Something got stolen. And then erases that. The Xantirum are no good. Erases that. Tensions are rising. Erases that. And then with Ban pauses for a moment and then looks up both the alley, and then he will roll perception. 13 plus something probably. Oh, there's actual bandit build, but I mean the perception, it's not gonna get higher. So then he stops and looks around and then writes, oh, okay. So with that, like, there's a pause in the conversation. Then toot toot. Actually, I do have these paper birds. So here. Then he hands, I'll say 4 birds over because he has 7 right now, but you give all of them away because they are useful. So now Toot Toot has 3 paper birds, and he gives 4 paper birds over to Ban. Let's see. Sleight of hand. 5 plus 3, so 8. But Toot Toot, kind of this big fella, kind of opens up his winter wear and oh, okay, here we go, and then hands them over, and then Ban is holding the chalkboard and the chalk, and he kind of rolls his eyes a little bit and like struggles a little bit with getting things in one hand and then accepting 4 pieces of paper and then trying to put them up, and then Ban erases everything, and then Toot Toot, as he's erasing, then Toot Toot says, you know, we've been learning Asimar sign language if you want to. Oh, no, okay. It's because Ban met it with us like a strict, confused, like, and then shakes his head and then writes 4 GP. Oh, you want 4 gold now? I gave you 2 gold earlier, but no, this may because this is only like the first one was only 1 paper bird, and this is you like sticking your neck out more. So 4 gold. Yes, I can do that. 4 gold. And then Toot Toot digs around in his coin purse and takes out 4 gold. Victor, future Victor, 4 gold. I like this. Future Victor is my my assistant. And then tomorrow I'm watching this going, no, we're equal partners in the thing. And then Toot Toot goes, okay, thank you for the... Yes, we have seen some bloodshed in the streets. Some panic in the streets of London, which I did look that up because, okay, so something from the last episode 23, then 3 Strings was drunkenly singing something, and he was like, "Seven streets of London." What is that song? And then I couldn't figure it out. And then within this past week, I was like, oh! So I looked it up, and it is Panic. Oh, boy, hold on. Let's see my thing. No, okay. Let's see my Toot Toot's ongoing Spotify playlist on Spotify, where every song that Toot Toot either references or parodies or that Victor sings winds up on this Spotify playlist. So as soon as it loads, which is taking a sweet time, it's called Panic by the Stream, the Smiths. Come on. I have 16 minutes of the show left. Spotify. Okay. Curated by our favorite Loxodon Barn, this playlist features every song parodied or referenced in D&Me, a show where one man plays Dungeons and Dragons by himself. So at the very bottom is Panic by the Smiths. So let's see if I can play that a little bit. The very first sentence. I don't think I can play more than that without, having to pay for something. Rights and stuff. Yay. But, again, that's Toot Toot's ongoing Spotify playlist, and it is on the link tree. It's at the bottom. Yay. linktr.ee/DnMeAdventures and like gnome. So, with that, then Toot Toot goes, okay, thank you. So that's 4 more paper birds. So you will keep us more updated. Good. Hey, Ban, how have you been doing? And then Ban kind of squints his eyes and furrows his brows at Toot Toot. I just wanted to know how you... Oh, and he is walking away because Ban sharply turns and, walks briskly down further on into the... And Toot Toot... No, I learned something. I learned that tensions are building, so that's not good. But we will keep our noses clean. And I will go check to see if Durnan and stuff in the yawning portal, because I didn't get to last time. So he runs out of the alleyway and then across the street to the yawning portal, which is this 3-story tall tavern. And he opens up the door, goes up the stairs, opens the door, and then inside there's not a lot of people because it's still pretty early, the day after a holiday. So there's probably some hungover people just slumped over a chair, and then a lively Durnan, who is a human bartender with the butts. Well, what was it called? The mustache. It wasn't a friendly mutton chop. Friendly mutton chop, which is the mustache connected to the mutton chops. That's what it is. Friendly because they mate through the mustache. So, a thinning hair Daniel Day-Lewis motherfucker is kind of lively behind the bar and with a pep in his step is making breakfast beers and stouts and then putting them on a platter, and then he looks around. Toot Toot looks around, and then getting that serving dish is a petite waitress, plainly with straight strawberry blonde hair, who picks it up and then walks a little bit toward, curving towards Toot Toot. Then she winks, and through that wink, then her eye, the iris, turns purple, and then she winks again, and then her eye turns whatever nice shade of color it was beforehand, and so she goes off to serve. And then he walks up to Durnan. Durnan, good morning. How are you? Good. Because Durnan is just a man of few words. Excellent. I heard that you don't love Fade, right? And then Durnan says, right. Yes. So did you have a nice Fade, outside of the yawning portal? Yes. Good to hear. I'm sure you heard the chaos that happened here yesterday, and so and then Toot Toot gets a little serious. I tried my best, but I heard that the Dragonborn did pass away, but I heard that he got revived, so that's good. Then Durnan says, yeah, that's why I don't like fairies. Wise man. Durnan, you are wiser than you know. But everything else is good? Good. I did want to talk to you because one of my things that I've had written in my notes for many months now is...
What?
Don't worry about it. It was a joke. Let me just read them just to make sure. So, we were talking a couple days ago about me perhaps performing here on occasion. What are your feelings towards that?
Yeah. Do you want to do it?
Oh, I thought it was going to be like more negotiation or like you asking me to play a couple songs or whatever. Like, what are the guidelines for it?
You do it if you want to do it.
Oh, well, great. Do I need to give you notification or? Oh, all right. I feel kind of silly having written that down for so long, but yes, I do. Me and some of my adventuring companions, we have inherited, I think I told you a little bit about this earlier, but we inherited the Troll Skull Manor and Tavern up in the North Ward. We were thinking about opening it up as a functioning tavern. Is that, like, we don't want to step on your toes at all or let there be any bad blood betwixt the two of us, but is that okay? And then Durnan, like, does like it's fine. You do whatever you want. Durnan, you are an agreeable sort. Because I was worried about that because, like, we first met here at the Yawning Portal, and then we kind of bonded, and then you have been here. So I just wanted... Yeah, do it. Okay, a new job opportunity and your blessing. What a great morning so far. So, thank you. Is there anything I can do for you? Like, I don't know why I'm offering right now, but
Yeah.
and then Toot actually perks up. Oh, okay. And so Durnan leans in, and then Toot like, oh, okay, we're leaning in. And so getting kind of close together over the bar, then we cut to a two shot of the bar in the middle, and then like each head coming towards, and then Durnan goes,
You help her, okay?
and then Durnan points over Toot's shoulder, and then Toot turns to see Bonnie putting down some mugs on a table and then going to another table and picking up some empty plates of breakfast. And then Toot turns his head back towards Durnan.
Do not you worry, my friend. We are taking care of that. We are starting on it today.
And then Durnan goes,
Good.
and then kind of leans back. And then Toot leans back and, awesome. You know what? I'm going to take you on that offer right now. And then Toot briskly walks over to the stage, leaving kind of an impressed and baffled a little bit Durnan and Toot to an audience of like 8, 7 of which are hungover, and very empty tables. Then Toot climbs up on the stage, and then he takes out, let's see, what instrument? Because he has a bunch of instruments that he never uses. And then he kind of like puts his trunk on one of his tusks that are carved out, and then he plays a little medley on the flute as he blows out air through his nose on the chunk, and then it goes through the tusk, and it's a kind of, and then he straightens up, and then the one not hungover person is kind of looking like with a piece of bacon dangling and just is chewing, very reminiscent of them enjoying jerky earlier. And then Toot goes, "Good morning, Waterdeep." And then that's where we're gonna end that episode on a good Hairspray reference. Hairspray, remember that musical? So I didn't know anything else besides Good Morning Baltimore, so that's why I promptly stopped. Thank you so much for watching. This was D&Me, and I am Victor Rivera. This is D&Me, where I play Dungeons & Dragons with myself. I stream Wednesday nights on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I throw the video up tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, up on YouTube. Today's show will be up Thursday, January 27th, and then next week's episode will be live Wednesday, February 2nd. And I think that's Groundhog's Day. So it'll be up February 2nd. And I think that's Wednesday. So you can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and in podcast form and a bunch of other stuff. Where? On my link tree. That's linktr.ee/DnMeAdventures and like gnome. You can find me. Oh, yeah, no, I already did that. And then I was looking at the rest of my notes, but this is where I would normally roll to see who gives the outro tonight. But that is Tipsy, Onyx, and Rock already went, so it's Toot Toot. So the only logical thing I can do is look up the lyrics to Good Morning Baltimore. And then I will do, this will be fun. Instead of trying to sing very poorly as Victor, I don't remember the tune of it. So I'm just going to give a dramatic reading as Toot Toot for Good Morning Waterdeep instead of Good Morning Baltimore. So, and this will be like, this will be like an Ian McKellen level, like, dramatic reading of, apple bottom jeans. So, oh, woke up today feeling the way I always do. Oh, hungry for something that I can't eat. Then I hear that beat, that rhythm of town starts calling me down. Like it's a message from high above. Oh, pulling me out to the smiles and the streets that I love. Good morning, Waterdeep. Every day's like an open door. Every night is a fantasy. Every sound's like a symphony. Good morning, Waterdeep. And someday when I take to the floor, the world's gonna wake up and see Waterdeep. And me. Oh, look at my hair. What do can compare with mine today? Oh, I've got my hairspray and radio. I'm ready to go. The rats on the street all dance around my feet. They seem to say, Waddles, Tipsy, it's up to you. So, don't hold me back, because today all my dreams will come true. Thank you very much. I'm Toot Toot the Loxodon Bard, Tip Durnan and Tip Bonnie, and everyone here at the Yawning Portal have a great day. I will see you again soon. So thank you very much. Good night. Very silly.